It's me, Michaela, and welcome back to my channel. Ruby is back. I'm really invading her chair today, so I apologize. Today, I have for you a book haul. Now, normally I would not do a book haul so soon after having done a book haul, I think in December. But, Christmas happened, my birthday happened, and I got books for both of those, and I got gift cards for the bookstore for both of those. So then I bought more books in January because I had money to spend, and now I have a bunch of books, and I was going to try and do a reading vlog for this week, but that's been pushed to next week now because this week has been absolutely insane at work and I have not had the time to read the books for the reading vlog. So here we are. Before I start, I'm gonna turn the heater off because I forgot to do that, and it is definitely gonna cut in any second. I do have a lovely stack of books on the floor. Why I put them on the floor, I don't know. I'm now regretting this decision because the floor now feels very far away, but this is what we're living with. So let's just start. I'm gonna tell you all of the books that I bought recently, and just a little chit-chatty book haul video. Let's go. So the first book I have here is The Gentleman's Gambit by Evie Dunmore. This is the fourth and final book in her A League of Extraordinary Women series. I recently ended up rereading the first two books and then reading the third book. I talk about it in my January reading wrap up, and it made me just really want to then move on to the final book because I was just I'm just living in the moment, I was like, oh wow, I want to read more in this little world. And so I grabbed this, and this is what I'm currently reading. I am almost done it now. This is going to be in the reading vlog. That's the first book I got. It's so cute. I love a good historical romance. And speaking of romance, you may have remembered that in my 2024 reading goals video, I was like, I'm entering my romance era. Well, this book haul is definitely suggesting that I fully am in my romance reading era because there's quite a few romances. I have Final Author by Lauren Asher. Of course, is the third book in her Dreamland Billionaires trilogy. I'm hoping to read this also for said reading vlog coming next week. Sneak peek, sneak peek. I did not realize this book was so chunky. I did not think this book was such a brick, but it is. But I guess that means I got my money's worth out of it because it costs the same as the other two books. But I got way more book this time around, I'm very excited for this. I do really like this series. I liked Terms and Conditions way more than the fine print, but I didn't dislike the fine print. There's just a couple things in there that I found annoying more so than actively disliked. There's nothing that I was wow, this is bad. It was just that is not my thing, And so I'm hoping that this will be something that I absolutely love. It's 600 pages, so it better be. That's the next book we have here. Also, I love this color. Just as a side tangent, love the color. I then have Play With Me by Becka Mack. This is the second book in her series. What is it called? Playing for Keeps. So this is Consider Me, and then Play With Me, and then there's Unravel Me. And now I think I saw on Instagram yesterday that she's actually releasing a fourth book. I thought this was just a completed trilogy. Apparently it is not, because there's more books releasing. And do we know what I'm saying? That's right, my spreadsheet is mad at me. It's mad at me that this series is actually an ongoing series and not a completed series like I thought. But this is a hockey sports romance. This is Canadian author. I love to read Canadian authors when I can. Also, these covers are just so pretty. I can't resist them. I can't resist them because they're so cute. They're so pretty. I believe this one it's the sister of the main character from the first book and a teammate. So it's teammate sister romance, I think. So we'll see. I don't think I've read anything like that kind of best friend's sister kind of thing. Those kind of romance tropes. I haven't read any like that. So I'm interested to see if this is going to be something that I like. We're gonna find out, that's for sure. I then had Flawless by Elsie Silver. I couldn't not buy this. All the girlies love this. All the girlies love Elsie Silver. And I discovered Elsie Silver is actually a Canadian author too. So I was now I have to find out if I like the cowboy romances, okay? Yeehaw! That's what's happening. Everybody loves Elsie Silver, loves these books, and I had to get it. Also, it's pink, and that's cute. Very Valentine's Day, very February appropriate. So I do want to read this. I'm itching to get to this, but I do want to finish and make some progress in some series before I start a new one yet again. So that's kind of why that's been happening. But I am really hoping that all the girlies are correct and that I'm gonna love this. But we'll see. We'll see. I then have The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I picked this up at the store because, again, it's another sports romance, and I feel like I'm experimenting this year to be I think I like sports romances. So I'm reading more sports romances to see if it's like the sports part that I like or if it's just like a few authors that we're seeing. Romance era experimenting is happening in general this year. I haven't read any Elle Kennedy actually, and so like I was excited to grab this, but then I realized that I think this is like her newer series, the Campus Diary series, and in my head I thought this was the Off-Campus series, which is like The Deal and all that, and I don't think I have to read all of that before I read this, but like if I actually have to read other series before I read this series, like somebody tell me before I ruin it for myself, okay? I did see that The Deal and like the Off-Campus series recently got new covers, which is exciting because now I'll actually probably get them if I end up liking Elle Kennedy, because the other covers, guys, the old covers were bad. Like those were bad covers. So I'm glad she got new ones. Yes, let me know if I need to read like Off-Campus before I read this. Thank you. I then have Beach Read by Emily Henry. Very exciting. I think I actually talked about this in my reading goals and like 24 books in 2024 reading video because this is on that list. But I got this as a Christmas gift, birthday gift. One of them, I wanted to read Emily Henry. Now I have an Emily Henry. It's just like, I'm not reading this anytime soon, babe. It is February. Like, I was outside today. It's Saturday, but I was at work because I'm insane. And it's like -16. So like, I'm not reading a book called Beach Read anytime soon. Not when I live in Canada. It's just not happening. So that's like my fun little romance editions. As you can see, like now, like this part of my romance shelf down here, it's like quite expanding. And now there's a lot of holes in it because like a lot of it is like very newly added, but we like to see it. I have The Cruel Prce by Holly Black. Did I read this did I read this in February? I swear to God, February is like the shortest month of the year. It's half over. I cannot tell you what I did at the beginning of February because it feels like it was 7 years ago. But I think I read this in February and not January. I don't think this is in my January reading wrap up because I read it in February, but like I honestly, I'm not sure. But this was a gift from my bestie for my birthday. And I did read it and I did enjoy it. And there was a cliffhanger at the end that now I need to read the other books. I need to read the other books. This was like one of those series that it's like, you know, like when you put something onto your TBR and you're like, oh, I want to read that. But then you keep putting like new things onto your TBR, and then the new shiny things on your TBR sound more exciting than the other things that you put on your TBR, even though you're just as excited for this, but because it's been on there longer, like it's not like fresh excitement, so you don't like get around to reading it. Well, then my bestie finally gave this to me, so then I was like, oh my god, now I can actually read that book that I've been like actually really wanting to read for like ages but haven't because I keep finding new things and I apparently have the attention span of a goldfish. But now I have read it and now I'm gonna have to read the other books, you know? It's like a requirement. The stack is getting quite high. I don't know if it's all gonna fit here. I might have to. Anyway, this is one of the most exciting purchases for me. And it's because like I didn't want to buy this myself because I felt like I couldn't justify it very much. It's not like it's even like a special edition or anything. It's just a book, but it's a book I've already read, but I read it through like a library loan, and then I didn't want to buy it with my own money because I was like, well, I could buy books that I haven't read yet. But then I got a bunch of gift cards. So then I was like, this is the time. This is the moment to buy this book. And that is A Man Called Uwe by Fredrick Backman. I read this at the end of 2022. It was the last book I read in 2022. And I honestly want to say like this is one, if not the favorite book that I've read. I loved this book when I read it, and I've been dying to read it again. I want to like get little clear sticky notes, use them to like highlight all of my favorite little bits in this book because I just remember absolutely adoring this, and I just love Fredrick Backman's writing in general. So I'm so glad that I finally got this book. I do wish it didn't have the stupid soon-to-be-a-major film starring Tom Hanks not real sticker on it. I hate these. Get rid of these. Why are the publishers doing this to us? What did we do to deserve this? Anyway, other than that, love this book. Can't wait to read it again. Then I have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins to read. Okay, this was another like Christmas birthday gift, and I have already read it. I read this in January. It's on my January reading wrap up, and I absolutely ate this up. I love this book. This is so good. Just as much as I loved, honestly, did I like this even more than Evelyn Hugo? Maybe. They're like even playing fields. Like they're both 5 stars. But this has solidified for me that like I'm pretty sure now, like I've read 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I've given them both 5 stars. Like I'm pretty confident to say that I'm a Taylor Jenkins Reid girly, or at least like modern Taylor Jenkins Reid girly, because I know Taylor Jenkins Reid, she wrote like a bunch of books before The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which like blew up, but I feel like her new books are like definitely crazy popular. I haven't read any of her like older backlists, but perhaps I will. But first I want to read like Malibu Rising and Carrie Soto is Back. Adored this. I then have another book that I've already read, and that is A Dangerous Collaboration by Deanna Raybourn. Did I? No, I also read this in January. This was my first read of this year. First read of 2024. Cute! But I absolutely adored this book. In the Veronica Speedwell series, this is the best book yet. I'm obsessed with this series. Deanna Raybourn could write the series until like the end of time. There could be 700 books in this series and I'd still be reading it because I love Veronica Stoker so much. I feel like all I do is talk about this series at some point because I like read it so often, but like you should read it. If you haven't read it, like what are you doing? Like it's honestly, it should be like a rule that like if you haven't read this, like you're not allowed to be on my channel. Sorry. But like I've already read this and I'm so honestly, like if I didn't just buy all of these books, I would be buying the next book of this. Honestly, I'm still tempted to buy the next book of that. And then we have the last book, a birthday gift from my sister. I do remember that this was specifically a birthday gift, not Christmas. And that is Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter. I'm very excited to read this. The only reason I haven't read it is because it's like a whodunit mystery that's completely told through transcripts and multimedia. And I want to try and like solve it while I'm reading it, but like my brain is not there right now. She doesn't have that much brain power to be putting into solving murder mysteries, so that's why I've been reading romances. As much as I want to read this right now, I want to read this right this second, but like I know that like I want to try and solve it, and I can only do that the first time round, okay? Like, I can read this just for fun as a reread afterwards and have fun. But if I want to try and solve it, that's got to be a first read only situation. And so, like, I need to be in the right mindset to be my little sleuth detective mystery solving self when I read this. But that's where I'm at with it, you know? Like, I want to read this, but like my brain is like, whoa, baby, we cannot handle that right now. So that's the last of the books that I have acquired since early December. Which, look, I know like on BookTube, this is like what, like 10, 11 books. This is not a lot to accumulate in like 2 months. But like for me, this is like for normal people, this is a lot of books to just like be acquiring in this short period of time. But also I'm like, I don't feel bad about it because I'm so excited to read all these books and I just love having books. Like my bookshelf is getting so much fuller now. It makes me very happy. I feel like maybe 2024 is the year I get a second bookcase. Can you imagine? I'd really be like living the good life at that point. But I don't think I'd get like a second bookcase until this one is like really overflowing, because otherwise then I'd have like one bookcase that's like, oh cute, and another one that's like empty. And that would look so weird. But anyway, God, I'm like so overtired. I'm in like a weird mood. That's the video. That's the book haul. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, consider subscribing. I'd be happy to have you. Comment down below, what's your favorite book that you have recently purchased? What's the book you've bought that you're most excited to read? Let me know. Also, let me know any of your thoughts on these books. Also, definitely let me know if like I need to read other series of Elle Kennedy series before I start reading this, because I need to know that so that I don't mess up my whole reading life, you know? Appreciate that. Thanks, girl. There we go. With that, I hope you're having a wonderful day today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.